The neon lights of Los Angeles flickered in the stillness of the night, but in the shadows, a figure moved unnoticed. In an instant, the night turned to terror as sharp fangs pierced the throat of an unsuspecting victim, leaving only silence and blood in their wake. Olivia Black had always lived with a single purpose: to hunt and eliminate vampires. The Order had trained her from a young age, molding her into a ruthless and skilled hunter. She lived in the heart of Los Angeles, the city's vibrant, neon-lit nights masking a dark world few knew about. Vampires lurked in the shadows, and Olivia was the one who brought them to justice. Her mission was simple: track down and eliminate Marcus, one of the most elusive and dangerous vampires the Order had ever hunted. He was cunning, centuries old, and impossible to pin down. For months, Olivia had been following his trail, learning his patterns, studying his movements. She had heard stories of Marcus, of his brutal attacks, but also of his charm. He was a vampire who lived by his own rules, keeping a low profile and rarely drawing attention to himself. One cold night, Olivia finally had him in her sights. She had tracked Marcus to an old abandoned warehouse near the industrial outskirts of the city. With her weapons at the ready, she moved silently through the shadows, her eyes fixed on the tall figure standing by a shattered window. This was it, her moment. But when she cornered Marcus, he didn't react the way she expected. Instead of fighting back or running, Marcus calmly turned to face her, his piercing blue eyes locking onto hers. His expression was unreadable, neither threatening nor afraid. For a long moment, Olivia hesitated. She had never encountered a vampire who seemed so human. Marcus spoke softly, challenging her. He questioned her mission, her reasons for hunting him, and the black and white worldview she held. He wasn't like the monsters she had been trained to kill. He lived in the shadows, yes, but not out of cruelty. He told her that he didn't kill recklessly, didn't drain humans like the stories claimed. He was different. Olivia found herself unsettled by the way he spoke, how his voice didn't match the creature she had imagined. Confusion swept through her, and in that hesitation, Marcus escaped, disappearing into the night. In the days that followed, Olivia couldn't stop thinking about him. The Order demanded results, but she was no longer sure of what she had encountered. She spent hours researching Marcus, digging into every piece of information she could find. The more she learned, the more conflicted she became. Marcus wasn't just another vampire. There was something deeper beneath the surface. Olivia found herself questioning her beliefs for the first time. She had spent her entire life preparing to eliminate creatures like Marcus, but now she wasn't sure if he was truly evil. Her curiosity quickly became obsession, and she continued to search for him, wanting answers. Meanwhile, Marcus had been watching her too. He was intrigued by Olivia, by her strength, her determination, and the sadness hidden in her eyes. He had encountered many hunters over the centuries, but none like her. Olivia wasn't driven by blind rage like the others. There was something more to her, something that drew him in. Their paths crossed again on a stormy night when Olivia was ambushed by a group of rogue vampires. They attacked swiftly, overpowering her in the dark alleyways of the city. She fought back with all her might, but there were too many of them, and she was outnumbered. Just as she was about to fall, Marcus appeared. With supernatural speed and strength, he tore through the attackers, sending them fleeing into the night. Olivia, breathless and bleeding, looked up at him, shocked. He had saved her life. For the first time, Olivia felt vulnerable. Marcus, a vampire she had sworn to kill, had just rescued her from certain death. Conflicted, she allowed him to take her to a safe place, a small hideaway he used when he needed to stay out of sight. There, as she rested, Marcus revealed more about himself. He wasn't like the others. He had learned to control his hunger, feeding only when necessary, never killing humans unless he had no choice. He hated what he was, but had long since accepted that there was no changing it. Olivia, still cautious but intrigued, shared her own story. She'd grown up in the Order, raised to believe that all vampires were monsters, the same monsters who had killed her parents when she was a child. For her, the hunt had always been personal, driven by pain and loss. But as she listened to Marcus, she began to see that things weren't as simple as the Order had made them out to be. Their relationship grew slowly from that point. They met in secret, both knowing the consequences if the Order found out. Olivia was torn between her loyalty to the Order and the growing connection she felt with Marcus. She had never allowed herself to feel anything for anyone before, her life consumed by vengeance and duty. But with Marcus, things were different. He understood her pain, her loneliness. He had lived through centuries of it himself. As they spent more time together, Olivia learned that Marcus had been trying to stay out of the escalating conflict between vampires and hunters. He wasn't interested in power or bloodshed. He simply wanted to exist without causing harm. But there were others, dangerous vampires who didn't share his restraint. One of them was Marcus's old rival, a vampire named Lucian, who was known for his brutality. Lucian had heard about Marcus's attachment to Olivia and saw it as an opportunity to exploit his weakness. Lucian ambushed Olivia one night, making it clear that her relationship with Marcus had put her in danger. He warned her to stay away from Marcus or suffer the consequences. Olivia, now fully aware of the danger she faced, was no longer afraid. She knew that she couldn't walk away from Marcus, not after everything they had been through. Marcus, realizing that his presence in Olivia's life was drawing more danger toward her, suggested they leave the city. He wanted to protect her, to give her a chance at a life free from the constant threat of vampires. But Olivia couldn't bring herself to leave. She wasn't ready to give up on their relationship despite the risks. The breaking point came when the Order discovered Olivia's secret. They had been watching her closely and knew about her meetings with Marcus. They gave her an ultimatum: kill Marcus or be branded a traitor and hunted down herself. Olivia was devastated, torn between her love for Marcus and her loyalty to the Order. In a final act of love, Marcus made the choice for her. He allowed himself to be captured by the Order, knowing that it was the only way to keep Olivia safe. He told her that their love was never meant to last, that his world and hers could never truly coexist. With those words, he let her go, leaving her heartbroken. But Olivia wasn't ready to let him die. As Marcus awaited execution, Olivia made a daring decision. She turned against the Order, breaking into their headquarters in a desperate attempt to save him. In a fierce battle, she fought her way through her former comrades, willing to sacrifice everything for Marcus. Together they escaped, leaving the city behind and becoming fugitives. The Order would never stop hunting them, but Olivia and Marcus no longer cared. They were willing to face whatever came their way, as long as they were together. As they fled the city, Olivia and Marcus knew that their future was uncertain. They were outcasts, hunted by both vampires and hunters, but they were no longer alone. Bound by love, they embraced their uncertain future, knowing that whatever dangers awaited them, they would face them side by side. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.